One of the easiest things you can do to separate yourself as a candidate is have great questions to ask the interviewer at the end of your interview. This is no different with Chick-fil-A. In fact, most of the people who interview with Chick-fil-A, they're not going to come with any great questions to ask the person. So if you can bring great questions to ask the interviewer at the end of your interview, it is going to put you on another level. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 great questions to ask the person interviewing you at the end of your Chick-fil-A interview. Now, this is the 4th video in a 4-part series, so if this happens to be the first video that you've seen of the series, make sure you go to the playlist and watch the first 3. And stay tuned to the very end because the last question is great. Additionally, I'm going to tee up one more video on the screen here that's really going to help you nail your interview. With that being said, let's get started. Now, the first question I want you to ask is, what does this person need to accomplish in the first 90 days in order for you to consider this hire to be a success? This is a classic. I would never leave an interview without asking some form of this question. Why? Well, one, you want to understand, what does success look like? Do they know what success looks like? Do I feel I can achieve their concept of success? And lastly, it frames you as a candidate with a success-oriented mindset. You want to know, okay, what do I need to do to be a great employee? And interviewers, employers, hiring managers, they really appreciate this question. So it is a strong question to ask that's going to set you aside or set you above other candidates, but also get you great information. Now, the next question is, what does training and onboarding look like for the person who's going to be joining your team? Great question. The reason I really like this is I want to understand, are they going to set me up for success? Do they know what the plan is? You know, there's a huge difference between not having a plan for a new hire and having an amazing, well thought out, well coordinated plan. So for me, whenever I'm, thinking about starting a new job, I want to know this information. What's your plan? It's also a really, forward thinking question because you want to know what you're coming into. It also can be a tell that they're interested in you. Because if they say something along the lines of, well, what we'd have you do is do this, that's an indication that there's some interest there for you as an employee. The next question is, how would you describe the culture and environment of your team? This is just a simple question. You want to know what working there is going to be like. What you're watching for here. You want them to quickly and easily be able to describe a positive working environment. This should be like an easy thing for them. They should be, it's really positive, very teamwork oriented, etc. But if they struggle, right? Like they start answering, they're like, there's a lot of chaos or, how would I describe it? That's not as positive. They should easily be able to articulate a positive environment. And if they don't immediately do that, you might be walking into a location that isn't that strong and might be hard to exist in. The next question I like asking is, what characteristics would you say separate good employees from great employees? This is a good question to ask because you want to find out, what do they value? What are the things that they think make their employees great? This gives you an opportunity, if there are future interviews, to incorporate some of this information into your answer, but even in the moment you can respond. If they say, what really makes people great, in our restaurant is people who are outgoing, friendly, and good teammates. You can say, oh, that makes a ton of sense. I would think in this environment, that's really important. I think one of the things that's allowed me to excel in prior roles is I tend to be a person who is really outgoing and friendly. I like connecting with people, and it's part of why I love doing this type of work. That just shows that you have the qualities that have made prior employees great. So it's a great way to align yourself with previously successful employees. Now, the last question I want you to ask is, do you have any questions or concerns about my ability to do the job? I call this a closing question. And one of two things is going to happen. One, they'll go, no, I don't have any questions or concerns. I think you could do this job. And then you let them know that you're interested. You go, great, that's really good to hear. I'm very interested in next steps, something like that. Now, if they go, well, I do have some concerns. It seems like you don't have any customer service experience. At this point, you have an opportunity to rebuttal their concern and address the thing that might keep you from getting an offer. So it's a great opportunity. It's really important, though, that you rebuttal it in a non-defensive way. The way you do that is you go, thank you. So first you thank them. Thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it. Then you take ownership. I might not have done as good a job as I could have sharing some of my experience. I actually have about 2 years experience with customer service, specifically when I worked at A, B, and C company, right? That's how you do it. That's how you counter a concern. And by doing that, you increase the likelihood of you getting an offer by addressing a concern you otherwise might not have an opportunity to address. Now, one of the things that I think is really important is making a great first impression quickly. It's why I made this video. This video here is how to get hired in 6 minutes, how to get a job in 6 minutes, and I teach you how to nail the 6 most important minutes in an interview. So I'm done here, but you should go watch that video there.